Rapper T.I. is out on bail this morning after being arrested right outside of his own neighborhood.
Yeah, police say the Grammy-winning artist got into an argument with a security guard at his gated community near Atlanta, and he reportedly lost his key. The guard would not let him in, even after his wife called the guard gate and identified him. T.I. was charged with disorderly conduct, public drunkenness, and simple assault. His attorney released a statement saying the rapper was wrongfully arrested.